can begin to ramp that up, and you can begin to go at a higher level as long as you're still staying tight, you're still covering well, and you're responding appropriately if you do get hit. When those punches do sneak in, you're still responding appropriately. So I'm going to bring Robert out. We're going to demo kind of almost a board, never getting hit style, and Robert would be my adversary for purposes of this drill to show you, and he's going to go at such a slow pace that it's almost it should be a warm-up, if anything. It's too slow a pace, so I'm going to be actually bored during this. So Robert starts, he's just going at this really slow pace, and I can just like, I've been covering long enough that this kind of work might be fine-tuning work. We might even warm up that way and go real slow like that and agree. But if we were to work, we would work. This is just going to be a normal work pace for us that we're going to show you now. I'm going to wear a mouthpiece just for purposes of illustration. Robert still doesn't have one in. We're still not going to go to speed that we're probably going to. It's highly unlikely either one of us is going to induce an injury. But I'm going to begin to intersperse some of the safety gear that we may commonly wear. If you don't have a mouthpiece, go out and get one. This is one that I heat and boiled and then bit. So didn't go to a dentist or anything for it. So I keep piece of gear though. Work. At this point, I'm going to split this out so I can narrate while we go. At this point, we're going at a nice medium speed, okay? And we're just training. These are training rounds. Neither one of us are beholden to take a turn. We can both press. But our primary defense is going to be movement and covers. We're not going to clinch in this drill. And we're just working on, if we got attacked in a parking lot today, what do we have an answer for that? We want to have an answer. Guys, one of our core principles is being outcome-based. When you consider mobility, transitions, the ability to disengage, the ability to create angles, always consider the outcome you're seeking also as a core fundamental. When you're in some kind of an altercation, is the outcome to get away? Is the outcome because I have my 3-year-old with me and I'm walking in the park? Is my outcome that I need to win this fight where we stand? Is my outcome to create a situation where I can scoop my 3-year-old up and disengage? All these things are important. So as you apply anything you learn in this DVD, always think towards your outcome. Our preferred outcome is early detection, early avoidance, early getting out of this problem or disengagement if possible. And that preferred outcome will lead us to victory. I'm 100-0 in fights I didn't have to fight. I'm undefeated in fights where I didn't have to throw any punches or fight. So that would be our preferred outcome. Once that passes and our adversary brings a fight to us and we need to defend ourselves or someone else, that's going to happen. If that happens, we need to be very clear about what we're trying to accomplish as we're working through that problem. Stay focused on your outcome, not on a technique, and that'll lead you to success in street encounters. All right, guys, thinking of that outcome base, we're going to look at that in relation to controlling distance. And we're going to look at some common errors, especially if we're both empty-hand, we don't have any weapon systems in play. How we control distance is very, very, very important. We have a saying that space is a friend of NASA and the defender, okay? Space is going to be the friend of the person who is defending or trying to get away or those kind of things. We want to be certain that we're not making space in a straight line backwards. In a gym setting, you can back up quite a ways, but once we get out in the street, you can't back up 4 or 5 feet before you're running into a car, maybe tripping over an object, a bike, some kind of curb, those kind of things. Another secondary issue is there could be another adversary behind you. Just because this guy's pressing forward doesn't mean one of his buddies is not behind you, or somebody becomes emboldened because you're backing up. Another thing that's happening when I back away is there's a natural psychological thing going on in this encounter. When you're in a combative encounter, you're communicating in a very true way, but you might not even be using words. So when I back up in a fight, it's not that I would never back up, but when I back up in a straight line under pressure, what that tells my adversary is what they're doing is working. They need to continue to pursue me and continue to put punches on me or try to take me down or whatever's going on. So I want to resist that urge to back up in a straight line. A final problem with that is as I back up, I'm still staying right in front of my opponent, and he's able to continue to throw shots at me. It doesn't take a lot of training to lengthen your shots, but it takes a ton of training to shorten them. So if Robert comes out, we're going to illustrate those. Once Robert begins to press, if I press straight backwards, even if